Okay, just as we're doing everything, I'd like to say hi to everyone. Just getting this all set up and hopefully hopefully my Instagram's even going to go live. So here she comes. Welcome to today's Hooray It's Thursday live with Courtney. It's good to see you all. I'm finding out new things. I'm learning new things. I'm doing fabulous. I'm Courtney. I'm independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Australia. And what I've got on my desk today is something different. I've got the Meant to Be bundle. Now, you won't find this in any of our written brochures or anything like that. I'm just going to open my chat line so I can see who's here with us. This stamp set is been released as part of our we've got a scrapbooking range, and one of the scrapbooking kits that was released this month with our new mini catalogue, our celebration catalogue, all those other good things, was a new scrapbooking brochure. This is one of the stamp sets that belongs to the Meant to Be set. There's like a suite, there's a whole scrapbooking range. I could actually just grab it and show you. This is the Meant to Be kit. It's available in the online store. You'll actually see that there's a link to where the easiest way to find this, I will tell you now, because sometimes it's a bit difficult rattling around the store. The easiest way to find what's new when it comes to the Stampin' Up world in the online store is there's actually a drop-down menu in your top left-hand corner. There's actually a drop-down menu in there that tells you that you can, one of the things that you can search for, you can search by bundle, you can search by color, you can search by lots of different things. You can also type into the little search bar up the top if you know the name of what you want to find, or if there's something that you like. So if you put dinosaur in there, you're going to get a dinosaur stamp set these days, because there is actually one there. There's a bundle that's really cute. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But when you click on those three little lines, you get the option of shopping what's new. What's new will give you the option of shop all, the celebration, the mini, and the scrapbooking kit. So this is one of the new scrapbooking kits. It's called Meant to Be. It comes with 3 double-page layouts, but there's a stamp set that goes with it. You don't need the stamp set. Hi, Lol, how you going? You don't need the stamp set. However, it's so cute. Now, you will remember, if I bring over, this is my annual catalogue. If I bring over my annual catalogue, you'll remember Be My Valentine, which is featured on page 75. It's no longer a bundle, but it has a punch, and it has another Be set, which was released last year, I think last January, February, if I remember correctly, but it made its way into the encore section of the annual catalogue. So you've also got that set. So these two will complement each other quite nicely. But I will tell you, this punch won't punch out these guys. Okay, they're a different size. So you've got a different size B. All right. So although they're similar, so you could have essentially, if you were doing a page, you could put 3 different size Bs onto your page. So this is really cute. It's got a different flourish of bee lines, for want of a better word, you know, when the bee flies away. So I thought, but the flowers are similar. Everything sort of goes together. Okay. The little faces are a different shape. That's probably about it. So I'm just going to play with this one today. And I pulled over, and I can't remember its name, but I pulled over one of the new designer series papers as well. And that is found in this guy. And here it is. I've pulled over this designer series paper. This is what I'm playing with because I really like yellows. I like yellows, oranges, and greens. They're truly my colors. Green is my favorite color of all time. Now, this here is the Floral Delight designer series paper. There is also some vellum that goes with it, but I haven't pulled the vellum over this time. I've just pulled over the designer series paper, and I've already cut it up. So what I want to show you with the meant to be stamp set, it's a photopolymer stamp set. There's some cutie little things in there. It's not really Valentine's Day, but it could be Valentine's Day. That's what's coming up. But look at these dies. Okay, so I'm going to put them into perspective. This one says Our Hive, so you're not going to put that on the front of the card. That is definitely for a scrapbooking page, but that's okay. I mean, you might, I don't know, we'll see. But I like how the little wings are cut out, that you can cut them out separately, so you can get little gappy bits in the wings rather than this one. This punch uses the heart, so you end up with the whole of the wing. All right, so there's a couple of different options. So what I thought I'd do is make a card using this die set, coordinated with this die set and that designer series paper. So I've got all of my goodies over here, hopefully, and I've got a few pieces. I've got a basic white background card base. These are the pieces of the designer series paper that I've pulled over. Yes, there is a scrappy piece because I had in my head what I wanted to do, but once I saw how big these dies were, because if you look at them in relationship to a card front, some of them are bigger. So if you wanted to make a hexagon card, you could actually do it quite nicely. All right, but I'll show you that another day, because that is that's going to be left field. Okay. Because you could actually you just cut off a straight bit and you could have that as your fold, for example. But anyway, moving right along. So there's lots of different options. So, but for starters, I bought all these over because I wanted to play with, but I'm going to use both sides. And they're just so pretty, and not what you'd expect. Hi, Anne. Hi, Lisa. How you going? Everybody's here today. All right, so we've got a field of yellow and a little bit of green thrown in. So the colours that are in this range, I've got them all here. The peach pie is the only one that doesn't have its name written on it. Okay, so we've got pool party, pecan pie, we've got all the peas, peach pie, old olive, lemon lolly, and daffodil delight. The colours that come in the paper, so I brought them with me as well as my trusty memento. So let's see what we can come up with these guys. All right. So it's got to feature a bee and it's got to feature some hexagons. Okay. Thought about it, but that's as far as I've got. Now, basic white thick is sometimes a little bit harder to fold. So if you have trouble folding your basic white thick, that first roll up of your bone folder, you might do it a little bit lighter and then come back and do it again. I also turn it over and do the other side. Okay. I've cut this piece here to fit and one of these to go with it. Okay. So what I was thinking about first up, you'll notice on these dies, they're actually 2 dies in one. So you're going to get a frame, plus you're going to get an inside piece. Okay, because you'll see that there's a knife on the knife part of the die is on both sides. All right. So a few of our sentiments will fit in here. If you wanted to do this as a Valentine's Day card, you could. If you didn't, you can pull in some other sentiments. Okay. But We Are Meant to Be is going to fit very nicely in amongst that. Okay. So what I've thought about doing was having a variety of hexagons on there, but as you can see, they're really big, which is why they're perfect for a scrapbooking page. Now, if you haven't seen it and you're watching on my Facebook page or even on my Instagram, the last photo that I showed was of this actual bundle, because I knew that I was going to be playing with it this afternoon. So you'll see a scrapbook page. So these dies are perfect size for 12 by 12 scrapbook pages, or 8 by 12, depending on what you like. But the Meant to Be is going to fit beautifully in there. There are some birthday sentiments that will fit in there. And one of the things that you can do is, once you've seen the hole, if you're not sure what's going to fit, once you've got a hole, you can actually go around and put it on your stamps. And I'll do that quite frequently. So my Meant to Be is going to go there. All right. But what I actually want to do is I'm going to glue this piece on here because I'm actually going to cut out and stick back in. So because of how I want to do it, I'm going to just put a thin layer of glue around this top piece, down the sides, and across the bottom. Now, normally you'd see me squiggling this all over the shop, but not today. And the reason being is because I actually want to cut a piece out of here. Now, oh, it's a bit wiggly. I've just given it a very, very skinny border because sometimes a skinny border looks really nice, okay, just for something a little bit different. Now, I'm actually going to cut that. Just make it the same size. So what I want to do, I'll just put that to the side, my glue to the side. Stick that on block so I don't lose it. Okay. These dies are really cool. They do cut more. Why, hello, Donna. Let's see what fun things you've got to say this week. And if anyone wants to know what the connotations to that's for, you need to go back and look at last week's video, or at least the chat. So, all right, where was I? You can cut 2 pieces at a time. So if you're wanting to be a bit faster with your die cutting, you can cut 2 pieces at a time. You don't need to cut them. You don't need to cut them straight. And I'm just looking at this thinking that, you know what, I'm not going to cut this straight. Okay. And I'll have that top piece. But I'm going to stamp my sentiments straight. That's my plan. All right. So I'm going to end up with here, and I'll show you because I'll come back to, I will be bringing that back up there. All right, I've got a big gap here that is very skew-if, and I'm okay with that because now I'm going to end up with these pieces here as well, which means, oh, that one's got a bit of glue under it. I caught the glue. I was worried that I would, you know. But if you just pull it ever so gently, you could possibly get it out. I was hoping I wouldn't catch the glue. I thought that I might. All right, and then you've got these 2 pieces as well. Now, I actually want a couple more pieces, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to cut these before I do anything else, just so that we've got them to play with while we decide what color is going to be where. Now, these pieces are relatively big, and I've actually cut them with a purpose in mind, and that is I've made it so that they're relatively big so that I can actually use them as a background. So I'm going to cut this out of the middle so that I've still got quite a bit of space around it so that I can then actually layer something on the top of it and no one will know that I've thieved from the bottom. Okay. With this piece here, that's a scrappy piece, I'm going to just pop it in underneath and hope that I've got enough on this piece to get out what I want from it. And you know what? If I haven't, that's the way it goes. Because I'm also going to make it so that it's going to be that one on the top with that scrappy piece that's got the check is going to be a bit dodgy. Now, I don't know if you noticed, I've just put 3 pieces of designer series paper there. And yeah, it's a bit firm on the old pushing it through, but watch this. Those little knives that don't cut you still cut all 3 pieces of paper. Okay, so nobody said you have to cut 1 piece at a time. You then have to peel them all apart. But one of the good things it will do is if you want to add height that's not really going to be seen, you can pad something with extra layers of cardstock so that it will give it a bit of a thickness to it. Okay, so just so that you're aware of doing that. So that's the smallest one of these hexagons. Hex, yes, 6. Okay. All right. So when I put this on here, I've now got a very skew-if, and that's the way I like it. Skew-if hole that you can see through. I've got you on my bit. I'm all in huge. Okay. So what I can do with these, because that's got that little, it's got glue and paper stuck to the edge of it, so I'm not going to use that one, but I can pull these apart and I can use these guys if I want to. Okay, so there's that one there will probably end up being the best, and it can sit in there. Okay, so that can actually sit in there quite nicely, except that that's not going to work for me because it's the one that's a bit khaki. But my hexagons turned out quite nicely. All right, so what I'm going to do here is, what I'm thinking is I was going to pop these guys on to match up with this, just for a little bit of extra color. Okay. And then I'm going to trim it down. So I'll be able to put extra color all over everywhere. This piece here is going to go on the inside, whether it likes it or not, I think. So I do have a glue eraser. It's not here, but it's on the, it's not something that Stampin' Up stocks these days. But you will notice if you've got the take your pick tool and it's got the, instead of having the die brush on the end, it's got your putty on the end. If you give it a little bit of a scrub with your putty, the putty will take it off if it's just a little bit of glue. Okay, so essentially I'm going to pop some color on here. Oh, that one's pretty. And what is it on the back of you? Yeah. So just play around with it. Okay, but we need some other bits. Okay, so we'll get some other bits happening because we need to do some stamping. So what we've got here is we've got flowers. And we're going to have a bee. And I'm only going to pick a little bee because I don't want him to take up all the room. So this is the bees that go with this. It's these 3 pieces. Okay. Pop you on there. That's yellow. And that, they're going to be all black. Okay. Grab a piece of this. So it's just a bit of fun. So if you're interested in this suite, I've made it easy. This Stampin' Die bundle, I've made it easy so that you can find it with one click. You'll see in the comments, I've made a link. Okay, these are brand new, so we'll give them a bit of a scrub, a dub. Once I find this guy, just because they're new, just giving it a bit of a condition. Because we want it to stamp solid. Because as you can see, it's not stamping very solid. I re-inked my Memento ink too in preparation, so it's really going to town. Okay. But you know what I've done? I've made my bee back to front. That bit should be yellow. Well, nothing here to see, but I'm very good at doing that. So the bit that is black is the other bit. This bit should be yellow. So I'm going to pull out Daffodil Delight because I can. I'm just going to dry that stamp because my sponge is just being cleaned and it's very wet, and I just dried that on my pants. That was not a good idea. Note to self, don't do that. Lordy. Oh, the pressure. Okay, let's let that dry and we'll stamp the wings. Okay, there's the black piece. The wings I'm actually going to stamp in Pool Party. Okay, there's a little tiny bit of Pool Party on the front, but Pool Party is a good colour for the wings because the wings are usually see-through. Okay, so Pool Party is one of those colours that makes nice see-through wings. This should be dry without any more linty bits on it. So drying your stamps on your jeans is not ideal, just so that you know that. But man, it's going to stamp nice now. Look at that. Wow. And we'll swap that one out for Memento. Okay. Let's see how I can get this happening. That's not a scrap. Thought I had a piece of scrap paper there. I quite frequently have a scrap piece of paper that I have just to rough and buff them up a bit. Okay, line up this guy. Like the little other bee, sometimes you've got to hold your tongue right. Oh, and I've put mess everywhere. So we're going to stamp that one again because that bee's got a 5 o'clock shadow. And it's not a good look on a bee. Let's see if we can do it without the 5 o'clock shadow, hey? That's because I pressed too hard. And now it's crooked. Okay, big breath in and blow it away. We're trying again. Look, we're going to end up with hundreds of bees on here. Should have done one earlier. Then I could do that. Hey presto, here's one I prepared earlier. All right, lining up my bee. Hopefully, much better. Still got a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, but you know what? That bee is much better than the other one. Okay, so the other thing that I'm thinking about doing is we've got to give him a little face. So there's a variety of faces to choose from. We've got closed eyes that are turned down, closed eyes turned up, and a smiley face. Plus there's his little antennas, and I will stamp his little antennas separately. So let me see, where's the little smiley face here? Okay. Because he's looking at us and he's so happy to see us. Do you remember, was it Romper Room with Mr. Doobie? And I can't remember her name. So she used to always hope that they saw me in the mirror, but they never did. Mum gave me one of those names that would never be seen. So actually, let's have a... No, we'll come back and get our flowers in a minute because I don't know what colour I want. I'll just pop those all to the side. All right. Yeah, I don't know what colour flowers I want. So I need a bee and some wings. So over to my dies. Now these were the small wings and the small bodied bee. So I'll just try and pull these out. Now, I don't know if you'll notice, look at all the flowers on there. There's 6 flowers just in the small size. Okay, that one and this one. Which is good because that gives you lots of different options. You could actually have quite a big florist thing happening here. And we'll just pop that up there. So this die set, this Stampin' die set, comes in just shy of the $100. Can't remember exact numbers, but if you were to get this, if this is something that interests you and that beautiful scrapbooking kit, can I say the best deal in the catalogue is the joining special. Currently, we've got a joining special that's $169, which is our standard joining special. I know you're all going, yeah, that's what it always is. But it's $169, but at the moment, there's 2 different value add deals that you can get. One of them is you can get the $235 worth of product, plus you'll get your, you have choice. You will get your, a packet of, there's 2 packets of Stampin' Blends and a stamp set. That's $162 extra on top of your $235 worth of product. Bargain. Or if that does not interest you, what you can get on top of that is the an extra $51 worth of product of your choice. So personally, I love the deal, the current deal, where you can actually choose what you want, and then get the $235 plus the stamp set and the 2 packets of markers, because they're such good value. The markers you can use instead of ink pads. I've shown there's a couple of videos that you can see backwards if you want to, like, go backwards and have another look at, that you can see if you want to see what I've used them for at other times. So it's just one of those things, one of those deals that I really like. Now, if I'm doing this, which I'm going to do, I don't want to put glue all over everything. So I'll quite frequently have a pencil that comes in handy. Because I'm going to go off that edge, if I put just a little bit of a pencil line here, I can see where I don't want to put, I can put some glue where I need it, but not be too heavy-handed with it. I don't particularly like cutting glue with my snips, and I don't particularly like getting this glue absolutely everywhere, because it is not fun. All right. If you've got a directional print, I will advise that the directional print goes the way that the directional print should go. All right, just so that way you it's just one way of playing with it nicely, because it's then more aesthetically appealing to the eye, especially when it comes to flowers. There's some directional prints that you can get away with and others that you cannot. Okay, got to choose between checks or flowers. It's a hard decision sometimes, isn't it? But looking at how these are going to sit, that flower is going to be perfect up there. All right. And sometimes that's what you just have to do. You just have to decide which way things are going to sit the best. And it's just because it brings in that green leaves. And you'll notice that I'm also putting a little bit of an edge around it. Now, it's up to you whether you trim them off with your trimmer or whether you trim them off with your snips. And that one's a little bit out of kilter. And the reason I could tell is because I had more on the back. It's probably gone a little bit out of kilter on the other way now. So you can just run your snips along this edge here. Keep in mind that that's not straight now. Or you can pop it back into your trimmer, and you can use your trimmer for this. But I just find this just as easy. If you're not very good at cutting a straight line, you can line your snips up, push them against that edge and go trim, and they will cut it for you. But that gives us these other pieces to then play with, okay, which we're going to need. You're not going to work there because I've used too much of it, but you will. See what I mean? But because it's directional, I can't use that one, right? Because I wasn't watching when I didn't pay attention when I did the other side. So if I want to use this piece, I can, but then I think it matches that piece over there too much. Okay. And this piece here will work. But look, don't forget, I've got this nice green piece over here, which has also got a big flower on the back. So you could use it that way. They match too much. Let's go with that one. And then we'll go with that one. Okay. So I just put a little bit, I'm just going to put a little bit along that edge. Okay, and stick you in there. and not drawing on it this time because I'm going to give it the opportunity to dry. I'm going to stick that one up there. Okay, we'll let those dry. For my piece in the middle, now remember those pieces I chopped a bit out of the middle of before? Got two pieces here, so I'm just going to pull them apart. That piece there is going to fit perfectly around this piece and nobody's going to be able to tell. Okay? Just so that you can add a little bit of colour to around the inside piece. Okay. Now, if you're going to stamp on this inside piece, my advice would be to do it beforehand and not after, because now I've got a lumpy bit. But that's all right. We'll work around that. Okay, so let's cut these guys off. I'm getting glue absolutely everywhere here. Again, just run your snips along. You can just butt them up against that piece there, the edge of that piece there, so that way the side of your piece of paper acts as a guide. Now, if you do get glue on your snips, alcohol gets it off. Okay, so if you've got some alcohol from a different project, like, you know, the isocol alcohol, it will get it off. If you've got some alcohol wipes that you've had from, I don't know, a dressing or a previous procedure or something like that from the hospital or anything, that will get it off. So this We Are Meant to Be is going to get stamped in here. Now, we've got quite a few colours that we can choose from. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to try, I've mainly got my old olive and my yellow colours coming through because of my bumblebee, who's going to be coming in over here. I could stamp this very nicely in black. Okay, it's going to land on the piece underneath. So at this stage, I'm going to cut this, I'm going to glue this straight on there. Now, if you want to add fibre that gets tied around it, make sure you do it beforehand. But I want this piece flat. Okay, and that's going to give me my guide for my sentiment. But I will tell you that my sentiment, there's going to be no forgiving. You've got to get it right the first time. Otherwise, you're starting again. Or you're adding a piece. Now, you can pop this piece back in here if you would like to, if you want to stamp on it. And you know what? Let's do that. Okay, so I might pop it in there so that I know what angle to stamp on. All right, just so that I can do, because now I'm nervous. But it means if I stuff it up, then I can actually, if it doesn't go to plan, which there is a very fine chance, then I can take it out and I can stamp it again. All right. We are meant to be. Oh, I'm all nervous now. Okay. We are meant to be. Very cute. Right. And look, you can send this to a friend. You don't need to send it to your partner or anything like that, because we are meant to be friends. Right. If you would like to, this will fit quite nicely in here to give you a frame, but you don't have to. If you save these for other options, you can too. This one can go sitting in there, which will be quite nice again as a frame, again, but you don't need to. You could pop it around some of these if you wanted to as a frame. Not necessary. Okay, save them for another project is my suggestion this time. We Are Meant to Be is going to get loaded up on some dimensionals. which are hanging out on my table somewhere. There's the minis. I'm always so good at finding the minis. But I do actually have some full-size dimensionals on this table because I deliberately brought them over with me to make sure that I had them. And they've developed some legs. Story of my life. Okay, we'll give it one more quick look. There they are, found them. So this is going to have some dimensionals under it. Now, I like to pop fibre on. Oh, thanks, Anne. I love to pop fibre onto the majority of my cards. All right, and the reason being is because I think it adds, adding that texture is rather nice. Okay, so he's going to sit up there like that. Oh boy, girls are home. I just heard the car. Okay. Oh, my space is getting smaller and smaller. So there's this really gorgeous, and you've seen it before because I showed you this a couple of weeks. This is Daffodil Delight, this ribbon, and it's just beautiful. So because I've already glued this piece down, I have a couple of options still. I haven't glued this piece down. I can put fibre across and just let it stick out either side. Okay. I could add a bow if I wanted to with a glue dot, whatever floats your boat. So I've just got a couple of pieces of tear tape, and I'm going to go across there, add a bit of a loop, stick it under there, and well, it's got something on it. Across there, and then I'm going to trim it. It stays attached to my ribbon spool until I'm ready to cut it, and that's just so that I can be a little bit more frugal with it. Okay, we'll take this baby off. We'll stick this down. Now the other thing that, because no card would be complete without a bit of bling, so the other thing I brought across to the table, I've just got to hold my tongue right while I put this in. Put it down gently just to make sure it's straight, and then shove it down. Yeah. The other thing I brought across to the table is these guys. Now we've got a whole range of different gems that you can choose from. The other ribbon I brought over, because that would work too, was the check. I do love the check. I think that's my third roll of that. There's lots of different gems. If you can also add some of those to your cart, all different sizes. And lots of options. But I just thought, because this little bee was gold, I really loved. I'm wishing that I had my other tool, but I took it out. I went stamping somewhere else, and I took it with me, and my other tools in my bag. The take your pick tool, the putty on the end of it, is the best bit for grabbing these. But yeah, seriously, that tool has got it. That's somewhere else. Okay. A little bit of bling is always, as far as I'm concerned, a good thing. And you don't need a lot. But I always put odd numbers. I don't know about you guys, but odd numbers are my thing. Oh, come on, where are you? We are meant to be. Okay, let's get this bee on here. And you've seen the little bee trinkets. They are the cutest. This guy's going to get some dimensionals under him too, but the wings are not. The little, what are they called? Antennas. Okay, so we've got little antennas, and they're a stamp here. Now, there's one set of antennas, and it's for both bees. Okay, work out where you want your bee to sit, because then we're going to put our antennas on depending on where our bee is going to sit. Now, the antennas I'm going to put on in Memento, and what you'll see is I'm going to guesstimate where these antennas need to go. they're going to go over the top of that flower, essentially like so. So I'll just push my bee back a bit. And wherever the antennas land now is where my bee is going to sit. Okay? So I've made a decision that my bee's sitting there because now he's got to join up with his antennas. Unless I cover those antennas with a bee because I didn't like them, that bee's got to sit in that space. But he's going to get some dimensionals. Now, because he's going to be sitting partially over this piece here that's already got dimensionals under it, unless you want him to be higher, which we'll do just so that I can show you, you need to make sure where you put your dimensionals. So over his butt bit, he's going to have 1 dimensional, and then over his face, he's going to need 2. Oh, I better close that up before I stick something in it. Excuse the puppies. They're just announcing that the children are home. And they've gone to the front door, even though the kids are coming in the back door, because that's what they do. Well, one in particular, he gets more than a wee bit excited. Right, so you'll see there I've got 1 dimensional on that side and 2 on that side. So they've just doubled them up. All right, so that just gives that height, because I've got to allow for that height that's already there for this. All right, and just make sure my little sticky bits are all good. Okay, antennas, that's them. These guys I'm just going to stick straight on with glue. And because they're nice and fine, I will be holding them up while I put my glue on, because I just find this to be the easiest way for me to put glue on. All right. Hi, Maeve.
Hi, I have muffins for you.
All right, they've been at work and they brought back treats. Okay. That's always fun. Okay, so that's just got a little bit of glue on it. And then you can stick it underneath there and make it sit the way you want the wings to sit. Okay. All right, so we've got our meant to be on there. If you wanted to add some more gems, which I think it does need them, I'm going to pop them up here on that nice white space that I've got. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm sticking it down there. But you can also add a little bit of a bee flying thing. But I'm not going to, because I don't want to have to stamp on that now, because I've already made the decision that I'm going to put more, if they come off nicely for me, some more gems on there. Note to self, next time, take your pick tool with the putty on it. Okay, so that's our front. We need our inside, and our inside's currently got some really pretty stuff around it. But this is where, if I wanted to, I could stamp some flowers, I could stamp some bee trails. Oh, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, these are photopolymer stamp sets, which means you can bend them. So if you don't want them to bend and you want it to be the shape of what it's supposed to be there, just take that off. Pop it down on your glass mat, and then you're able to do it. Okay, and I'm just going to use Lemon Lolly because I only want it to be very pale, because I want it to be like that bee from the front has left the inside of our card, and he's just sort of trailed off with some friends. Okay, so that's going to be really fine. You're not going to be able, oh, I wonder if you can see. Can you see that, guys? So it's just a little bit, and because we've got them, let's put a little bit of a little flower on there. Okay, one of these ones, and I've got some peach pie that'll be perfect for that. Again, just whack that one on there, turn that over the right way, and a little peach pie flower. Oh, that's a juicy stamp set. You might want to stamp this one off. Nope, it's going to be perfect. And then what else I'm going to do is I'm going to put those flowers, put one on the front here, but look, we've got the back of our envelope, quite frequent. Oh, one of my gems just popped off. I'll fix that. I also like to decorate the back of my envelope. We do have a leaf in there if you want to put leaves on this, but because we've got a variety of colour, I am going to show you what else we can do, just because we can. Where's my daff? All right, just give this a clean. Okay, and then we can come back in and we can put some daffodil flowers in the middle. It's not as juicy. To make it so that they go into those other spaces over here, just open up your envelope to do those ones. Okay. I'm going along that top edge. And that just makes our envelope a little bit different. Now, we do have our old olive over here, but I'm just going to get this yellow off the desk. I brought all the big stamps over. I didn't bring any of the little tiny squidgy ones, like the stamp blocks. This is the leaf. It's teeny tiny, as you can see. All right. And let's make some things match. All right, so this is old olive with my leaf. My leaf stamp is very new, like the rest of the stamp set. And we can just add some random leaves to fill in a bit of those gaps. All right, just so that it looks, it's all, essentially you're making your own designer series paper, but we've got it on the back of our envelope. Okay. And here. So don't you just love it? I know I do. I think it's so cute. That's why I got it, because I really love the Other Bee stamp, and I used to love the Other Bee paper. The paper that's in that designer series scrapbooking kit, the designer series paper in there is just the divine. And let me tell you, if you're into scrapbooking, and one of the things that you were thinking of doing was getting some of these kits, adding them to a joining kit is the easiest way to do it, or the cheapest way to do it. And I'm all for saving a buck. I don't know about you lot. If Lol's still watching, she'll even comment on it. So now we've got all of those done. Let's just stick our inside in. I'll just close that up, because then we've got our card essentially done. Okay, a little bit of glue on here. Remember, I thieved that bit there for the front. And that can go on the inside of our card. It just that little yellow or daffodil and lemon lolly border just breaks up the white. If you don't want to put that border in there, you can stamp straight into the back of that card. The choice is yours. All my links are, how cute is that? All the links are in the description on here, on YouTube, and even on Instagram. So if you would like to go check out this set and what else is new, click on the one that says new, Stampin' Up What's New, or new products, I think, and then you'll actually get to be able to see it. I'm going to say toodaloo for now. Thank you all for joining me. If you haven't signed up to my newsletter yet, please do so. There's also a link for that one. If you're watching this on replay, please give us hi, and I will come back and say hello. If you've got any questions, just let me know. There's so many great things happening in the Stampin' Up world at the moment. So many good new things as well. All right, I'll catch you all swings and roundabouts next Thursday. See you then. Bye.